Darren Palmer, do you think people would sacrifice inside the home for the location, or you think people would sacrifice the location for what's inside the home?
And I think it's wise to purchase the things you can't build. Buy location, buy amenity, buy services, buy transport, buy views, because all those things, you can't put them in. You've got to purchase those things. Personally, I buy for what I think I'm going to be able to live like in that destination, what the lifestyle looks like, and how simple is it to get to there from an airport, how much easy amenity is there in terms of shops and cafes and stuff like that. But some people are school oriented. Some people might be more oriented to being close to where their work is. No two people are the same. I think the trick is decide what you're doing and why you're doing it. Because if you're doing something for you, you can indulge in these intense trends, but you may want to consider where you put them. So things like tiles that are sitting on waterproofing, maybe that wants to be something that's a little bit more enduring. There are ways that you can express high intensity trends in your home that make sense. And then there's ways that you can apply sort of low intensity trends that can have a more enduring lifespan.
2026, what's on the cusp of the pendulum? Can you give us a bit of DP insight?
I think I can. So,
all right, buying Gold Coast. As always, really appreciate all the feedback for our new season. It's been absolutely epic. New studio, new guest, new topics. Speaking of new guests, this is actually an old guest, but fresh. Every time I see him, he's looking fresher. He's looking younger. He's like aging backwards, which I'm always really impressed around. We spent the last 30 minutes I was like, man, what's the secret? But we've got actually the one and only Darren Palmer on the show again, coming on for Buying Gold Coast. We're going to unpack why I feel the next sort of 30 to 40 minutes is going to be so insightful. Darren's obviously got a wealth of experience. You know, he's been a judge on the block for so many years. He's got multiple businesses, and most of all, he's linked up with YourTown over the past few years, and he's been doing some amazing things, designing their homes and their prize homes. And the big Christmas one is always my favorite, and Darren has got his DNA all over it, so we'll unpack that too. But Darren Palmer, straight off the plane, straight to the Buying Gold Coast studios. Mate, thanks for being here.
Mate, I'm not afraid of a renovation, and that does include myself.
Yeah.
I do keep getting bits replaced, so hence the aging backwards part.
Yeah, man, you're looking really, really well. Mate, we won't make this a health podcast because we've spoke around all that. But I'm sure everyone wants to know, first of all, you can listen to last season if you want Darren's story. It's quite remarkable. But just a quick, super high level for new listeners who haven't got a background of you, Darren. You're obviously this is what I found astounding. You're actually a country boy at heart, Queensland, isn't it? Regional.
Did you see the ute I pulled up in?
Yeah.
Some days it's a McLaren.
Yeah.
Some days it's an Aston
Martin. It's the straight up journey.
Some days it's a Hilux.
I love it.
Who knows?
And where was it again? Blackwater? No.
Gladstone.
Gladstone. That's right.
Yeah. So it's like country with this thin veneer of city. You know, and there's sophistication on the outside and then just good raw earth on the inside.
Yeah, I love it. And high level, where did the design, we won't get too much into the story, but kid from the country, now you're doing amazing things. You've obviously been on the block for years and you're so highly regarded in the whole design space in Australia. What would be the pivoting point if you were to reflect on this whole journey? Was there an inflection point somewhere in the journey that was if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be here right now?
100%. So 2004, bought the first apartment that I renovated that. That was absolutely a pivot point for me. So I changed direction from being a graphic designer working in advertising to being an interior designer at that point. And it took I was explaining it the other day. It's 5 days of graphic design, 1 day of interior design. And then it was like this, that.
Gotcha.
That takes coordination to do that, by the way. But yeah, so 5 days, 1 day, it was 2 days, 4 days, blah, 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 blah. Then so that changed my direction from my career. So I went from graphic design to interior design, but it also changed my direction in terms of it's the job that I did that I first designed, the first thing I ever designed. And I got that published in Bell's Renovation issue. So that also changed my direction in terms of being in the public eye. I had never had that exposure to the public eye before. So I was published in the media then. And then I also, with that job, got to work with a friend of mine who was already working in interiors and had been for many, many years. And he was my mentor. So he taught me everything I needed to know that was sort of an adjunct to all the skills that I had in graphic design and advertising and that facet of design. So I picked up all the extra skills. And then in 2009, end of 2008, I auditioned to be a contestant on a reality TV show. And that was another inflection point. So in 2005, things changed direction. 2009, things changed direction. And looking back, it's kind of like this tree that kind of just branches out in all these different directions, but they all come back to these 2 points. And every decision and every opportunity that I made after that point basically comes back to, should I stay in my comfort zone or should I do something that I've never done before? And every time I do something I've never done before, I shit my pants and I think that I'm going to screw it up, and it ends up working out. So that's the short answer. And that was a long, short answer.
It's super inspiring. I guess it's awesome advice too for anyone listening. That I love the word inflection, because there's people probably listening right now that could be in that shitting their pants moment, and maybe that little message there gave them hope that, hey, what do you got to lose at the end of the day? So it really sounds like that, getting that publishing in that magazine sort of opened up a door that kind of wasn't there. And that came from you having a crack and exploring. You were graphic and then you were exploring more the design.
Yeah, also, it's exposure to something that's outside of what you expect. So for me, it was, I never thought I'd be published doing graphic design work. I was like, I'm not that great at it, so that's never going to be a thing for me. But the second I got published in interiors, I'm like, oh, wow, that's an opportunity I'd never really thought for myself. When I worked with my mentor, I saw his house and it was insane. They built it from scratch. They built it themselves. And it was like a luxury resort. And I was like, this person's actually really like me. He's just how much older than me? Sorry, Dane. He's like 18 years older than me, I think. 13 years older than me. But so he was that much further ahead in his life, but he had this thing that I had never pictured that I could ever have. And I'm like, hang on, you're like me. You're only just a bit further along in the path, and we love the same things. So I could have a life like that, and I never pictured that either. And then with the TV stuff, I never thought, I should audition. TV was never part of my life, never something that I had a plan for. And then it came in front of me and I was like, well, now that's an opportunity that I never expected that I now have. So I think it's that maybe your life can be something that's way different to what you expect it might be, and often for the better.
It's crazy to think too, like you've been a country lad now, you're on primetime television every single year now.
Yeah.
And like,
I think it's like super weird. Yeah. I never thought I'd leave the country, Matt.
Yeah, wow.
I never thought that I would leave the town I grew up in, and I never thought that I would get to travel the world for fun, let alone for work.
Unreal. So it's really, that little comfort zone, that feeling that like, all right, I'm feeling it in the pants. I got to listen to Darren. I got to suck it up and just explore. Just who knows where that door could lead you.
Bingo.
For sure. I love that. Talk to me about how many seasons in the block you've done now.
This is I've done 17. 17. We're about to do my 18th.
Yeah. Are you allowed to reveal the new location? Yeah, they did at the end.
It's Mount Eliza.
Mount Eliza, that's right. Yeah. Where do you think the evolution of, because the block's been really cool. Like I've been a day one watcher. I just love property. I love the stories. I love
You were 8.
I was very young when it first started. I remember, I think it was like Bondi or something, wasn't it? Yeah. It's the evolution of all the kind of designs. I love the different dwelling types and whatnot. What's been your opinion on your side, being one of the key judges, the growth of, I guess, renovation in Australia? Has there been anything where you're like, man, that has changed so much when I started on the block?
Yeah, go back and look at old, each season before the one that you've watched,
The latest one in Victoria?
Just generally.
Yeah.
Just generally speaking, whatever the last one you watched is,
Gotcha.
watch 2 before that. And then you're like, okay. And then watch 2 before that, and you're like, whoa. Because things that we were like, oh yeah, that's very good. That's very, you've done that in a week. It's amazing. Now we're like, well, that looks like it could have been done in a challenge in 24 hours. And what gets done in a week now looks like it's professional level. So that the expectations that we have are getting better, like bigger and bigger. The audience expects more and more. The contestants deliver more and more. So the stakes just get higher and higher and higher. That's something I can relate to as a perfectionist because I keep going, okay, well, I want this thing that seems unattainable. You get it. You're like, oh, well, that's normal now. So now I want this other thing that's unattainable. Oh, well, that's normal now. And then you just keep climbing, right? That's what the show does too.
What would you say the biggest changes? Would it be more the design stuff? Would it be more the way a house is perceived as a great layout? Is it like floor plan? Is it landscape? Like, what do you think the biggest mover would be?
Scale, definitely. So we've seen bigger and bigger houses, bigger and bigger.
Like bigger internal square meters.
Yeah, but also just bigger land, bigger, like in one way or another. We see either bigger land, we see bigger floor plans, bigger footprints. We see either a bigger challenge or we see more amenities, so more bedrooms, more lounge rooms, more, right? There will be a point, I think, that's not what the show does. I think the show might decide that they want to do something that's not more, just different.
Yeah.
So I feel like Dalesford was a little bit sort of different, not more. Mount Eliza is probably going to be different, not more. So I think that's going to be something nice to see because you don't need to keep getting bigger to be better.
Yeah, true.
And that goes for everything, I think. So yeah, I forget what your question was.
No, it's a good philosophy. I just got a bit of a life philosophy there. It's so true, right? In business and everything, yeah, more doesn't always equal.
Bigger isn't necessarily more isn't necessarily better.
Is there a series that was pivotal, you think, for yourself? Like, or it might be hard just like picking a favorite child, right? But is there a season where it's super memorable, and why was it so memorable?
Look, I can tell you one that was memorable for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
So what was it? Gisborne, man.
Gisborne, yeah.
That place. Because we were filming when it was cold. And
that was the regional Victoria.
Yeah, and there was lots of land.
I remember that
and
one,
not a lot of landscaping yet. So there's lots of mud.
That's right.
And it sort of rained a little bit and it was really cold. And when the houses weren't closed in yet, which was up until the very third last week or something, some of them didn't have like all the windows and doors and stuff on. It was cold. So I think everybody after Gisborne just went, maybe we'll go somewhere warmer. So yeah, that's one that I remember for it being a challenge, and it was a challenge for us. And I was there for a day. The contestants were like really, they were under the pump. I think just aware of background noise.
Yeah.
Let me think for a sec. They all blur together, Matt, to be honest. I feel like the last 4 have all sort of been in a different league, to the ones that came before them in terms of expectation from us, expectation from the audience, and expectation of the contestants of themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that they're a different set of kind of excellence. That would be my short answer.
If Darren Palmer had free reign on a location Australia-wide for the block, where would you want to see a series?
The Gold Coast 4 years ago.
Yeah. I think that too. I'm like, yeah, they should come to the Goldie. Like, it would remind me of them early Bondi days, like a nice a block or something by the beach. I think that'd be epic.
It'd be absolutely amazing. And it would have been really, really affordable 5 years ago.
The numbers would have stacked for sure. And I think that's the hardest thing too. Like everyone's watching the block and saying different things. Like people don't get it's amazing. Like we're in such a good real estate market. Hey, it just keeps pumping. And well, in Australia, I just mean in general.
But you guys, particularly.
Particularly Southeast Queensland for sure. And that's what people don't realize, like looking at a different market, say regional Victoria, like they all operate differently. But at the end of the day, like building has a price, land values going up. Like there's a lot of, at the end of the day, it is a business too, right? Like there's numbers that come into it and different things like that. So it was really interesting to see this series. I agree. Like I remember when it finished and seeing all the houses, and I was really going for, Sonny and Alicia, yeah, just Gold Coasters. He's such a legend.
Lots of my products, so I love them a lot.
Yeah, he's a legend. They're both great people. But and just seeing that, it was like a wow factor. I was just like, man, every house when they did the backyard reveal, I was just like, this is full on. Hey, like it's just getting hectic. Like one of them had a full pickleball court and whatnot. Yeah,
it's all next level stuff.
Yeah. Do you think Mount Eliza's like in store for that? It's going to raise again?
I don't know anything about the area. So anybody out there that knows about Mount Eliza, please send me the data because I don't have access to RP data. So I need to have a really good look into that. I think, I don't know what to expect of those houses. I haven't seen a thing. I don't know a thing. I don't know how much land they're on. All I know is that it's a desirable kind of a holiday destination for people that live in Melbourne, and it's a nice quick drive. It's like an hour and a half away from the city.
I noticed that's a bit of a theme, like even with our team, they work with so many buyers Australia-wide. Obviously, they specialise on the Gold Coast, but the whole post-COVID, like appreciating lifestyle, like whether it's holiday, like we've seen an uptick in people wanting holiday homes on the Gold Coast. I've noticed the past few seasons. I remember there was one on Phillip Island as well, like kind of like these weekender destinations. Do you think that's going to continue as a trend in Australia, like holiday homes, weekenders, things like that? Or do you think it's a bit of a short-term thing?
Mate, it really depends on who you're speaking to and what market you're speaking to, I guess. You know me, I like data, right? And there's a whole segment of people that can't afford a first home, right? So they won't be getting a holiday home. There's a bunch of people that are sitting on a whole bunch of wealth and they're not necessarily interested in downsizing, and they're the people that are going to have a holiday home. There's people like me that may want to, rather than have a holiday home, live in a holiday destination so you can commute, you can have that lifestyle but have one home. Then, it really depends on which age group, which income bracket we're talking about and what their means is. So, I don't think there's a simple, polite answer to that.
So it's really looking at, I guess, because I get this question a lot, like what segment of the market's best suited for like holiday home. I mean, yeah, you're right. It really depends on the bracket. The wealth bracket's probably a big one, isn't it?
And then also, if you think about a radius of access to amenity like airports and major metropolitan hubs, if it's a holiday destination, I reckon, me personally, there's about an hour and a half barrier there where it's a sensible, easy drive. I've got a house in Jervis Bay, which is 2 hours and 45 minutes away. I never go there. It's a business. So when I go there, it's a trip, right? But if you want a holiday home, I reckon there's a radius of about an hour and a half. Then it's about, what sort of amenity do you want from the place that you're holidaying in? Does it have one cafe, or does it have a whole? Is it a little town with a shopping centre like a Stockland or something in it? Like these are the different parameters too, I think, because people want different things. Some people want to travel Australia in a caravan. Some people want to get on a cruise, and some people want to get on a plane. No one of those is right, but everybody wants something different.
This brings me to another question. I'm curious to know what your answer would be to this one. So obviously working with so many buyers, my observation is, I'm just keen to hear, what's your observation on people choosing internally, like the interiors of the home, or like all the lifestyle features within the house versus actually living in the location? Like, do you think people would sacrifice inside the home for the location, or you think people would sacrifice the location for what's inside the home?
And I think it's wise to purchase the things you can't build. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Buy location, buy amenity, buy services, buy transport, buy views, buy light.
Love it.
Yeah?
I know what you mean. Yeah, love that.
Because all those things, you can't put them in. You've got to purchase those things. Inclusions, a fit out, the house itself, you can build that. So I would say purchase those things that can't be purchased otherwise, can't be built otherwise. Yeah.
Love it. What do you reckon the highest regarded sort of purchase of that would be? Would you say view, light? Like if you were to put the top of the top non-negotiable, if I was a buyer right now on the Gold Coast, because that's a really good point, like looking at it like that.
I don't think there's a one simple answer to it, right? Because here, Gold Coast, there's two things that appeal, I think, generally about the Gold Coast, or there's four really main things. Great airport, access to ocean views, access to hinterland views, and lots of amenity in terms of services.
Yes.
So those four things, Lord knows what you're going to be purchasing out of those four. Maybe it's 3 out of the 4, right? But it depends on like whether you want apartment dwelling, whether you want to be in a home, if you want to be in the cows, if you want to be on the ocean, if you want to be in an apartment on the ocean. Like there's all those different parameters. So I buy for what I think I'm going to be able to live like in that destination.
Gotcha.
What the lifestyle looks like, and how simple is it to get to there from an airport. How much easy amenity is there in terms of shops and cafes and stuff like that. Like, so I'm kind of lifestyle oriented, but some people are school oriented.
Yeah.
So some people might be more oriented to being close to where their work is. The thing is, Matt, everybody has different eyes, right? Everybody's different. We can fit people into groups and segments where people act and buy in similar ways, but no two people are the same. So nobody wants the same thing exactly.
And that comes down to, I guess, the value on a property too, right? At the end of the day, a certain property is valued potentially differently between buyer A and buyer B because of, buyer A is looking at it from that one's really good because it's in the school catchment zone for Jimmy. The other one's valuing it differently because I might be a little bit further back from the beach because they're beach people.
Yeah, someone might go, I love that I'm so close to the train. Somebody else might be like, I'm
That's
not buying
horrendous.
that because it's close to a train.
True. Yeah, love that. And it's a really good point for buyers out there because the Gold Coast is such a fast market. People lose track and don't have the mindfulness to understand like what it is they actually want. Like I would dare say a lot of buyers don't actually think what you just said there. Like actually, what am I buying for? Like they're just like, oh yeah, all my friends are in mermaid, so I want to try and get into mermaid. But what are you using the property for? I love that. Like, is it school? Is it amenities? And yeah. And it's funny, unless you ask those questions, because our team are always asking those questions, that's how I know people don't do it because they sort of say, oh, actually, yeah, that's a really good point. Like why?
Oh, it's like that street.
Yeah. Yeah. And it makes complete sense. I love that. What about your evolution, Darren? Like your business, I've noticed it's growing and like your design philosophies change. Like how do you stay sharp and evolve as a designer? Like my observation of design is like it's just always changing. So how do you stay on top of that?
Look, I love data. I love research. Yeah, so I like to look at what's happening. I like to understand why it's happening. I think we may have had this conversation before about trends, But, the trends are a pendulum between what was and what will be, and whether it's a continuation of what was before it or it's a reaction to what was before it away from that. It's also based on human behaviors and psychological needs, So if, like in COVID, people needed something that was, what's the word I'm looking for? The other word for clean. And like
minimal.
Yeah, no, as in antibacterial.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's where the minimalism comes from. And also at the same time, there was cottagecore. So that was like super nostalgic. Then we have the sort of reaction to millennial grey, which, was a big thing kind of 5-6 years ago, and that sort of minimalism, to maximalism and lots of colour. We went from oaks to walnuts. The pendulum swings and continues to swing and will swing just ever faster. And rather than one pendulum, there's several pendulums going at the same time. So the short answer, I keep giving you these really long answers to things. The short answer, I guess, would be I study and look at what's out there, and then I digest why I think it's happening. And then I also gave this statement somewhere else, and I thought it was a really good thing. It just came out of my mouth. It's actually on the Block podcast that Shelley asked me about why some trends have a longer lifespan and some don't. So how do you do something that's classic and timeless versus trend-oriented? I was like, well, everything's trend-oriented. It's just the intensity at which the trend burns dictates how long it burns for, right? So like a big trend that everybody's really excited about, people get sick of. It's like your favorite song. You listen to it over and over and over and over and over again, then you can't listen to it ever again until maybe in 10 years' time you discover that song and you're like, oh, that was actually cool. Trends are the same. And then if there's something that you're like, I like that. I'm not super intensely in love with it, but I like it. That's going to last for a long, long time. So from a property point of view, I think the trick is decide what you're doing and why you're doing it. Because if you're doing something for you, you can indulge in these intense trends, but you may want to consider where you put them. So things like tiles that are sitting on waterproofing, maybe that wants to be something that's a little bit more enduring, because that intensity may well burn really quickly. And then to replace that, you're not just replacing the tile, you're replacing the waterproofing, perhaps a lot of things in the bathroom. And then that becomes a big expensive issue, right? But if it's a cushion, then you get a new cushion, right? So there are ways that you can express high intensity trends in your home that make sense.
100%.
And then there's ways that you can apply sort of low intensity trends that can have a more enduring lifespan.
So it's nearly, so what I'm understanding there, Darren, that's unreal. That's DP wisdom out of the, out of the
just like pop the head off, so that data comes out, pop it back on.
That is unreal. People will be salivating at the mouth hearing that stuff for their next reno. I'm sort of seeing, all right, the timeless, the rooms that need a hit and the expensive kind of rooms and I guess features. It's like, maybe something more durable, timeless could go there. But then if you want that aggression or like that boldness, like cushions, impact. Color, impact, something that, hey, if it doesn't hit and it burns out quickly, you can swap it quite easily.
Look, I would say, kitchen handles, they're like earrings. You can swap them, right? Then you've got things like natural stone, bench tops. That's more like an expensive pair of shoes, right?
Yeah.
But still changeable, but very dramatic. And then you've got cabinetry and stuff like that. That's most of your outfit. Yeah? So think of it like that.
Yeah. Love it. So looking, it's nearly like I'm just picturing a room and then you've got your big, strong thing, the main things that make up most of the space, and then your accessories on top, handles, color.
And it's also the things that are fixed and hard to remove versus the things that are fixed and easy to remove versus the things that aren't really fixed.
Yeah. So like an island bench top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hard to remove and change?
Harder, but not as hard, say, as the carcasses and the door fronts and, or tiles that are sitting on a membrane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%. Love that. Unreal. Talk to me about if you were a Gold Coast buyer right now, and one thing I love on the coast, there's a lot of 3-bed, 1-bath, low set brick and tiles. They're going to extend, renovate. Great locations, but there's so many of them, and they're hot property. They fly off the shelf. Where would you start? This is a common one we get. Where would you start say not budget for knockdown rebuild, renovation? So there's space at the back and there's space at the front. 3-bed, 1-bath, brick and tile. What's your mindset? Well, what's DP's mindset there? Like, are you going straight to floor plan? Are you going into, do I go up, down? Like, I'm just curious, where does your mind go looking at a reno extension?
Reno extension?
Yeah, just like, so not just the cosmetic paint carpet, just like, okay, we may need to extend here. But it's also not a knockdown rebuild where you've got full reign over the whole thing.
Yeah, sure. I mean, in my experience, knockdown rebuilds are easier than renovation.
Of course, yeah.
I should get a bulldozer through it and start again. It's way more predictable. Yeah. But if you need to be considerate about how you're spending money and how you're staging money, then a renovation makes a lot of sense. So I would say definitely first look at the floor plan of the existing structure, see what the options are in terms of rejigging things that are perhaps not structural, or working out how to change things that are structural so that you can get the best floor plan out of the existing structure.
Yeah.
Then whatever you're going to add on, whether it's up or out, then work out how in the floor plan those additions are going to relate and pick up whatever amenity you've lost in the changes to the original floor plan. Then it's all about orientation to light and views. Then it's also about not pissing off your neighbours as much as you can so that you're not blocking, their views, particularly if it's something called an iconic view. I believe there's an issue with blocking iconic views. What that's defined is kind of interesting. I think it's things like the Opera House. I don't think it's like the ocean, but still. I think it's really site specific, orientation specific, and then I would definitely go floor plan, light views. That would be my, and also amenity. So making sure that you've got enough bathrooms for bedrooms and enough living space so that it can be fit for purpose.
Love it. I hear that a lot from a lot of experts. That floor plan is huge. Like, a lot of people start there on floor plan by the sounds of it. Yep. And it seems like you're really big, because I remember hearing on the show a lot of times you're big on like light, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Absolutely. I love natural light, access to natural light. And then I like to think about lighting plans for the purpose of, there's several reasons for light: ambience, function, sculpture. What else? Like, there's something else. And task, right? So you've got task, and spotlights. So spotlights, for example, having a light that spots an artwork or a sculpture. Yeah. So it's like a specific task it does. Then light generally in a space, the worst thing you can do is a grid of downlights. Just don't, because they wreck your ceilings, and ceilings actually, that's your fifth wall. That's something that you want to be as considerate of as you are with all the other walls, right? Then you also need to think about the shape that light makes on your walls and on the objects that it's thrown on, and also the opposite of what light is, the dark, right? So, you put a downlight there, you're going to get a pool of light on the floor, but nothing really on your walls. If you put it 400, 350 mils from your wall, you get a lovely arc of light and then this section of dark around it. And then you can play with the shapes that makes. So you can use light to sort of craft spaces. You can also use light to create areas of darkness where you might want to sort of make something more hidden. You can add drama to something by focusing on it. So light has all these different purposes, but it also can be hugely distracting to a ceiling if you just go, I'm going to like go 12 lights here in a grid of 3x4.
And then would it be fair to say then, Darren, the reason is meticulous on where that light goes because it's a feeling, like when you walk into a room and like
100%.
the average buyer probably isn't looking at it like that, but it's giving off a feeling.
Absolutely. Yeah. And a lot of that stuff, that sort of fundamental design stuff, is quite often somewhere in the subconscious. Response to a space. So you walk in and go, wow, I feel great in this space and I can't really work out why. And it's the same reason you walk into a place and go, I don't like this and I can't put my finger on it. Usually there's a fundamental, a design fundamental that's wrong or right.
And just on that, what would you say the biggest one, outside of light, is there any other killers that you see renovators get wrong in terms of what you just said? Like,
you know what, a good one is something called a regulating line. So a regulating line is, say, for example, you looking at a space and the top of your door frames and the top of a painting and the top of the window frame, all of that lines up at one point. Whatever happens below it is, whatever. But you've got one line that runs through. They happen vertically, they happen horizontally, they happen through landscaping. Architecture is really based on regulating lines. Interiors also benefit from understanding the importance of a regulating line. So, that's one thing that I think looks really pleasing when you see it and you don't know what it is, and looks really displeasing when it's ignored. And I'm not saying that everything needs to line up all the time. It's just the importance of understanding what regulating lines do.
I feel like next inspection and walkthrough, I'm going to be on the
You'll see
the
it when
light,
you
the
see
ambience, function, sculpture, task, and then regulating lines.
Yeah, you'll see it when you see it.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that unless you, okay.
You'll look through like especially an architecturally designed home, you look through an opening and you'd be like, wow, this line continues all the way through here and to that point. And like you look over there, like, okay, that line continues all the way through there. Like, and you see them when you know what you're looking for.
And so that's not just like, say, paintings and door, that's also like exterior of home too.
Oh,
like,
yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Look, do a little deep dive in it. I can't give you a lesson on it right now, but it's really, really interesting.
Regulating lines. I absolutely love that. That's a huge, huge tip there for any renovators about to embark. And that brings us to just quickly, Darren, our Srama Property of the Week. The team at Srama actually secured full renovator. We work with a lot of renovators, but the team secured an absolute ripper in a suburb called Miami. I don't know if you've been in Miami before.
Of course I have. Yeah. We built a house in Miami.
Have you? Oh, you have too? Yeah, one of the prize homes.
2 years ago.
Yeah, so it's a very hot pocket. It's in between sort of Mermaid and Burleigh, so it's got some really good value there, but we helped a renovator, our team, secure it at auction. And the big reason was why they secured it at the price they did. They did so well. They secured it at auction, put together a really good strategy, but the light of the block, so the rear is sort of your northeast facing, the existing floor plan, there was plenty of room at the back and they're going to set back at the front and moving down from Brizzy and making life here. And as you said, lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Coming down here for lifestyle.
I do love Miami. I think it's a really beautiful spot.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So if you need a hand, get in touch with the team at Srama and they will help you with that one. But lastly, Darren, I just want to, again, can't leave a chat without a bit of a trend. I love your pendulum analogy. Where do you think we're in this will get released probably just before the year ends, before your Chrissy raffle. But 2026, what's on the cusp of the pendulum? Pendulum swinging, do you think, can you give us a bit of DP insight?
Yeah, I can. I think I can. So color. There has been all year a swing towards browns and plums and burgundy and olive and ochre and like saffron and these sort of rich, warm colors. The next part of that is the addition of things like powder blue and dark, sort of a desaturated teals, because there's a touch point, a contrast point. Those warm-based color schemes are going to need that works really well against those other colors. Like powder blue and brown is just
In
hot.
combination.
Yeah, together. So I think you're going to see a blend of more cooler colors being added through into these warm palettes. I still think there's lots of life in things like walnut and chocolate tones and stuff like that. I guess the easiest way, if you want to ever look at it, is it's like sales data. It's like any property graph, right? Past performance is no indicator of future performance, but things do repeat. So if you go back and go, well, okay, so we're in walnuts. Before it was oaks, then there was greys. So where are we going into then black? Are we going into greys? Like, I'm not sure, but we'll start to see whether we go, okay, well, I'm a little bit tired of dark now. We want to go somewhere lighter. Or I'm just a little bit tired of warmth now. We need a little bit cooler. But yeah, the next step is these touches of things like powder blue and like desaturated teals and stuff in those existing schemes that I think a lot of people are still uncomfortable with, but it's what I did in the YourTown Christmas Prize Home. I've got green, pops of red, like red lights. There's like red down, like can down lights. There's ochre lime wash ceilings. There's a red and white striped wallpaper. Like the color palette in there is vibrant and rich, but also of nature. There's a stone benchtop in there that's plum and brown and ochre with white veins. It's very interesting, very colorful, but also you could pick up all those colors and look outside in nature, and that's where they come from.
Gotcha.
Right? But then if you look at those colors out in nature and then look up, that's powder blue. And if you look at the ocean, there's the teal, right? So you sort of go, what works in nature? This is my view. What works in nature works in your home. We are skewing definitely towards warm and rich and sort of something that feels like it's enveloping you. You're also now going to want to have a little bit of cut through, a little bit of relief and a little bit of contrast to the warmth.
It's a really good example. Like anyone who hasn't checked it out, get amongst it, the YourTown Prize Home. It's down in Casuarina actually this year, which is, if anyone's never been to the Tweed Coast, it's such a cool spot, isn't it? It's just got that nice mellow vibe.
Do you know anything about it? The house?
Casuarina.
No, that house.
No, tell us.
So Jason Pate designed it, right?
Oh, JPD, yeah.
Yeah. He's such a legend. So it's got 3 lounge rooms. I think it's a 4-car garage. It's either two in the garage and 2 in the driveway. I'm not sure. We've got either 4 bedrooms and a 1-bedroom self-contained apartment, but the 4th bedroom has a door on either side, so you can lock it off to the house and then have a 2-bedroom self-contained apartment and a 3-bedroom house, right? So multi-generational living, adult children with their family even. You've got this, or you've got an income stream there, right?
Airbnb or something, yeah.
Yeah, right. So it's this really interesting, very flexible floor plan. It's a massive house and it doesn't feel, the proportions of it are right. It doesn't feel like it's cavernous. It actually just reveals itself to you. You walk through this house and you're like, oh, wow, that's over there. I had no idea. Like, it's very, very cool. Jason's done a great job. We reskinned it. It's got a brilliant main bedroom suite that looks like onto the trees.
That's the hero, eh?
It's heaven. The ocean's like just on the other side of the trees. Like, it's got a pool. It's got everything that you want for that sort of amazing beachside lifestyle, but it's not the white and blue dolphin motif version of coastal. It's not a Hampton style coastal. It's kind of like a Cuban Latin idea of coastal, So think about drinking a margarita in somewhere that's like playing great Latin music. That's the beach lifestyle that you'll get.
It just come to me because I was looking at the photos and I was like, man, I love Darren's style, like very different. And we were chatting off air around, coastal, but then there's different variances of coastal too. And there's a restaurant in the Oxley in Mermaid, the new establishment there. It's awesome, but it's called Naut. I don't know if you've been there, but it's like sort of Latin sort of tapas, but that's the colour scheme. Makes sense now.
That's it.
That is Naut, the house sort of feel. I'll show you a photo, but yeah, it makes complete sense. So interesting. If you haven't checked it out, check out the photo. Absolutely unreal. And then just some, why not on top, a bit of gold in there too. They throw in some gold bullion if you get in the raffle as well.
100%. Yeah, you get gold in there. I think you get all of your utilities and stuff paid for a year. It's $5.875 million total prize, $15 to purchase a ticket, and there's only 800,000 tickets. Do the math on the chances of you
ROI,
winning almost $6 million tax-free, whether you like the house or not. Get a ticket.
Yeah.
And also,
it's a no-brainer.
All the money that they raise goes through to helping Kids Helpline, and a young person reaches out to Kids Helpline every 90 seconds. They basically save somebody's life every day. They do really, really great work. It's very, very necessary, and without the funds that get raised from things like this, without the tickets sales, then services like that might not exist.
Don't exist.
And that means that young people will be at more risk than they are now, and they're doing a lot of helping young people that really need it.
100%. Well said, Darren. And it's not only a great house, but also a great cause too. And who wouldn't want some DNA of Darren Palmer? I mean, the last sort of 40 minutes, we've got the articulation and we've got the trends, we've got what's coming, but this house epitomizes kind of everything we've sort of spoken about, which is interesting, like the color pops and things like that. But mate, just a quick one actually, intergenerational living. We did some content around it. I'm definitely noticing, whether it's because of the price of homes now, people are bunking up together, people want more income streams. Do you think this whole intergenerational living, dual living, whatever you want to call it, granny flats, is it here to stay, you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Because what you've got right now is my age group, where our parents are aging and they're in their sort of mid-70s and 80s, where they don't want to be at home, but they can't be at home. So they're with you, right? Then you've got also the older generation that aren't maybe as old as that, but they're, say, in their mid-60s to mid-70s, and they might have adult kids living with them that are still at home at 30 because they can't afford to have their own homes yet, waiting for their parents to die.
Funny but true. Yeah.
Funny but true. So I would say you've definitely got anywhere from, honestly, every single age group are probably going to be living with at least 2 or 3 different age groups.
Yes.
For the foreseeable future. Because kids are going to be with their parents who probably have their parents with them. Teenagers are going to be with their parents, and their parents are soon to move in. Adult kids will be living with their adult parents. Like, there are segments there, you've got 2 or 3 generations at least.
Yeah, here to stay. So just anyone out there with the renovation, I'm seeing people sneak it in there, like optional. It's like, hey, that could easily shut off with a kitchenette.
And that's the key. I think the key is these flexible spaces that can operate and do separate things for different age groups or different purposes. It could be an income stream. It could be, should your kid who has left home but things don't go their way, they move home, or they're coming home to save some money for a mortgage and they bring their partner and their kid, or your parent suddenly becomes unable to live on their own and has to move in with you. That space, that multi-generational, multi-purpose space, that's a really wise thing to think about if you're putting into any new layout. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely adds value, 100%. Well, mate, as always, we won't do the Gold Coast Fast Fire, but I got something different for Darren today because he's not so much a Gold Coast local. But before we go into that, Darren, mate, as always, I know you're a busy fella. This is actually your last interview for the Mate, the
This is
grand
this is my last commercial commitment of the year. This is the last thing I've got to do for work for the year. I am stoked, Matt. You don't know how much I need a rest.
Mate, how lucky am I? I get the grand final show for Darren Palmer. Mate, it's been an epic year for yourself professionally, personally, mate. Health-wise, you're looking great. I'm excited to go around the sun again next year and see you age 10 years less again.
Thank you, Matt. But for the audience, Matt knows what I look like because he just saw me changing my shirt next to the bins out in the car park. He hasn't been doing anything weird. He just happened to catch me taking my shirt off while I was getting changed next to the bins in the car park.
Yeah, all I'll say it's not AI, people. He's got the abs for real. To finish on Darren, mate, this is brought to you by Temp Therapy. Shout out to the lads at Temp Therapy in wellness facilities in-house. So saunas, ice bars, everything like that. So code word SRAMA, they'll look after you, free installation. So shout out to the crew at Temp Therapy. But we'll call it, this is straight off the cuff, this or that, instead of the Gold Coast Fast Five, just 5 this or that, Darren. Hinterland or coastal? Coastal. Okay. Why?
I love the ocean.
Yeah. What about unit versus house? House. Yeah. Just
don't like stratas.
Don't like spoken like a true red brain. The data. Hey, you're always looking at.
I don't like the management of dealing with people on stratas. Oof.
Yeah, 100%. Mate, Saturday night, is it out on town or home?
Home.
Yeah, you're a homebody
Barely
these
leave
days.
the house,
yeah. It's funny how people would probably have, Darren seems such a outgoing, he's always out. I've spoken to you off camera. Yeah, you seem like you like your own space to recharge. And
mate, if I could never leave the house, I would never leave the house. 10 years' time, I won't be younger. I'll be a hermit.
Mate, this is a common one for the house. Single level or double story?
Ooh, that's hard. That's hard. For future planning, single story. If you've got land, single story can be glorious. Look, single story, if you've got the space, I think can be really glamorous.
And last one, and I agree with that. Like I'm noticing, especially on the coast, if above those 800 square meter blocks now, like people are building some beautiful single level home. What do you reckon it is with single level home? Like just that from a feeling point of view. What is that? You can just
sort of flow through a space, I think, and spaces kind of open themselves up to you, which is one great thing. And a couple of steps or a sunken lounge room or something like that is kind of awesome, but lugging up and down stairs or from, your garage to your house or from your front door to your bedroom, it's an impediment. So it's not a problem for me, but some people have mobility issues. Some people have aging or, athletes' knees.
Yep.
I think there's something that's kind of relaxing and expansive about a generous one-level home.
Yeah. And last one, this one just randomly came through because this is a common one too. 5th bedroom or second living?
How about both? How about you make it big enough that it could be both with the bathroom next to it?
Oh, that's deep. That's DP knowledge right there. I like that.
And it can be multi-generational space.
I was going to say, make it an option. Make it an option. 100%. Mate. As always, appreciate your knowledge, Darren. And where can people get tickets, by the way, for the raffle?
Yeah, YourTownPrizeHomes.com.au. I think it's I think that's the website, YourTownPrizeHomes.com.au. YourTownPrizeHomes.com.au. I even know the number.
And it's as little as was it $15?
It's $15.
Yeah, that's
800,000 tickets, $5.875 million, and it's a prize, so it's tax-free.
Tax-free. You had me at tax-free. Let's go.
Think that through.
Yeah.
That's nearly $12 million worth of revenue you'd have to make to have that much money.
Let's go.
Let's go. Buy your $15. Buy 10, 15, buy $115 tickets. Get on it.
Let's do it. Awesome, Darren. Keen to see you on Mount Eliza season of The Block on Channel 9. Check him out. And what's your website, by the way, too? You got some awesome stuff on there.
DarrenPalmer.com, easiest website in the world. Apparently I'm everywhere at the moment, so you'll probably see me on lots of ads for lots of different things. But yeah, darrenpalmer.com is kind of the place you go to see it all together.
Awesome, Darren. Well, mate, thanks for jumping on Buying Gold Coast.
Thanks for having me, mate. It's always good.